Helen, let's look back at last week's play, beginning with the what a great game it was down at Whitman on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we came away just a little bit short. But give us a recap of what was really a game for the ages with 20 lead changes in the second half alone.
Yeah, I mean, that had to be a really fun game to watch. I mean, it was fun to coach, but not as fun to just, like, when you're just at those games and it's like, people are scoring, our teams are just, they're matching play with stops and scores, and, and we were right there with the third-ranked team, and, just didn't get a couple scores down the stretch, and, I think there's some great things that we can take from it that we need to work on to really be able to make that next step. Especially to win games against tough opponents on the road, some rebounding, just executing some little things, and, to know that we're right there is a positive. But the thing I liked was that we weren't like, oh, we lost to the third-ranked team on their home court close. I mean, we weren't satisfied with that. We felt like that's a game we could have and should have won. We had our chance, and so the fact that we were kind of upset about that and we wanted to, move forward, I think says a lot about our team.
And we saw the response that they had, maybe not initially in the game against Lewis and Clark on Saturday, but really overall one of our best played games of the entire year.
Yeah, especially in the second half. I mean, we did start on the defensive end very slowly against Lewis and Clark, and gave up, what their strengths were. And we had 2 days of preparing, and we talked about what their strengths were, and we gave those up early, and just were not very diligent on the defensive end in the first 8 to 10 minutes. But then really we were able to turn around, and the players really got up and applied some pressure, and that helped our offense. I mean, we weren't struggling a lot offensively. I mean, we got good shots. Once we kind of, were able to attack what they were doing, I mean, that sometimes takes a couple possessions if they do something different than what you saw on film, and so it was really about just getting it done on the defensive end, and I think they scored 27 points in the first 12 minutes, and then they ended up, maybe matching that the rest of the way. So, the last 30 minutes, I feel like we really defended as well as we have, and then obviously shot the ball well with 58% in the second half.
Kayla Johnson just scored her 1,000th career point, and so that puts her in our record books as one of the all-time players. But she's having a phenomenal year. So talk about Kayla and the year she's having, but also how that opens up opportunities for her teammates.
Right. I think she's just been very consistent. And consistent as people are even keying on her, and she just, she's really developed her game over the summer, whereas, she can catch and shoot the three much better this year, is much more confident in that. Puts the ball on the floor, a lot of different things. In transition is probably one of the toughest players in our league to guard in transition, because she can pull up, she can beat you off the dribble. And she's just, but she had some amazing passes on Saturday where I was just like, wow, that was a legit fast break, just wow, what a nice pass. And, and I think because she draws attention with the defenses, and she's willing to make passes, she makes people around her better. If you have someone who just can score but can't make the pass, I think that makes your team can make your team a little bit less effective in certain situations. And then she's doing it defensively, and she's just, such a humble person that she just wants to do whatever we need to have her do to win. And so it makes, I think that attitude from one of your best players, and obviously our leading scorer, and one who makes everybody else be willing to do that too.
Now we open the second half of conference play. We're at home against Willamette and Pacific, two teams that we've seen before, but also two teams that have seen us before.
Right.
So talk about how do we prepare to play teams that we're very familiar with?
I think you have to go back and say, hey, what helped us win those games, and and then do those things even better. And they're going to come up with hey, this is what they did to exploit it. They'll have new plans of attack for those things. But you don't know what they're going to do. So you just have to kind of take care of yourself and say, hey, we need to get this done. These are the things we need to do to win. And, I took yesterday off, so it's not like I have that all planned out. But, we need to make sure we're continuing to take care of the ball. I mean, that was another stat on Saturday that we had 6 turnovers, which is a season low. So we need to do that. We need to, get more possessions. So we need to rebound and force turnovers. We have to have more possessions than the teams. That's always kind of one of our goals. And then just really review and understand, hey, here's what their strengths and weaknesses are. Let's take away their strengths and exploit their weaknesses, and just really get our team back on board of understanding what that is for each of those teams this weekend.